Ho ho ho, Merry Christmas, boys, girls, and everybody else in between. My surveillance elves have reported back to me that all of you belong on the naughty list this year. But I have a sweet deal going with the fossil fuels industry right now, so instead of stuffing your stockings with coal this year, I've decided to force you to watch the worst Christmas movies I could possibly find on Tubi instead. Tubi is kind of like the digital equivalent of the dollar DVD bin, where cinematic classics and cinematic catastrophes all kind of mingle together in a big, disorganized pile. On Tubi, you can find multi-million-dollar blockbusters listed right next to movies with budgets as low as 3 crinkled dollar bills and a Chuck E. Cheese token. Hey, remember those? When it comes to Christmas movies, Tubi gives you real variety. You can get a Christmas with snow, you can get a Christmas without snow. I had 3 very important criteria for a terrible Tubi Christmas movie. It had to be weird, it had to be low budget, and it actually had to kind of be about Christmas. This ended up being more difficult than I thought. For instance, I was psyched when I saw the cover of A Christmas Twister, but was super disappointed to find out that it was actually just a movie about a tornado that happened to occur in December, and not about a scenario where Santa Claus and his reindeer are sucked out of the sky by a deadly vortex. To make this a slightly more bearable experience, I've decided to take a sip of this every time someone says the word Christmas. What is this? Well, my dear child, this is elven-made, pure distilled Christmas spirit, of course. It's what keeps that twinkle in my eye and my cheeks rosy. Ho ho ho, my god, let's get this over with. The first movie on this list is A Christmas Love. I immediately realized that I had made a terrible mistake. I had massively underestimated just how many times people in Christmas movies say the word Christmas.
Christmas.
Christmas. Christmas.
Christmas. Christmas.
God. Christmas.
Oh, those elves did a good job.
Jeff and his wife Tina are coming home from a Christmas party when Jeff opens with this absolutely insane line.
I'm haunted by my own inadequacies.
I'm haunted by my own inadequacies as just a soft opener? Incredible. Jeff is apparently an absolute raging party animal who had gone buck wild on champagne that night.
Did I
Slip on one of Jenny's funky wigs and dance like a teenage girl to a God only knows how disco cheesy anthem? That was before you flipped over the table after you spilled the vintage Cabernet all over Susie Berlin's dress.
Jeff's coworker Murray recently was promoted to project leader where Jeff works, insert unexplained default office job here, and the next day, Murray calls Jeff into the office to fire him.
You can't just fire me. I'm a model employee.
Guess you didn't read the employee handbook.
It's the holidays, and I'm evil businessman. What else can I do besides fire people for no reason? When Jeff finds out he's fired, he handles this information, like a normal human being.
You're a real hoot.
His wife Tina also works that unexplained default office job, but this one is a new business she started, and it is not going well.
0. How can I have no mail?
She suddenly gets a call that the Maurice Jackson of
Carruthers and Smith Holdings?
whatever all those names mean, wants to partner with her business. Whatever her business does. I think I'm gonna get a rash from this beard. While Jeff is spiraling into alcoholism, his wife watches a YouTube relationship guru in front of a green screen as she considers divorcing Jeff.
And if you feel that your marriage has hit a wall, it might be time to reconsider the marriage.
Is this how you guys feel when you watch me? We're then introduced to Jeff's daughter Cody, whose genetic history momentarily confused me, until I realized she was born during Jeff's previous marriage. Wait, you're telling me that this man and his wife produced this Caucasian? Cody and her boyfriend have some riveting dialogue.
Make a list, check it twice. Think you can do that?
Okay, Santa.
And then she decides to drag her dad to a random psychic because, obviously, the best thing to spend money on when you're hurtling towards financial ruin is a liberal art major's side hustle.
You know, some people think that these are merely playing cards.
Go fish. Is this your card? Queen of Spades. Just as I thought. Anyways, she gives him advice that essentially boils down to a Pinterest board of inspirational quotes, but Jeff is absolutely thrilled. He goes home and immediately gets in a fight with his wife, where we find this out.
How many jobs have you gone through in the last couple of years?
I don't know, 7?
Jesus Christ, Jeff. Meanwhile, Cody and her boyfriend, Rock,
Not all guys know how to handle responsibility.
Well, not all guys. I'm your rock.
that's his actual name, are talking about their unexplained business. They make apps, and that's all you need to know.
The art, those apps, those sites, we need to push harder.
Right. Anyways, an old box mysteriously appears in the bedside table containing a letter from Jeff's dead grandfather that mentioned the word Christmas so many times I almost joined him. Oh, double take, okay. I can't. Jeff's daughter wishes on a star and the box magically appears in front of Jeff, even though she could have just driven to his house and given it to him. Christmas magic, saving us gas money one miracle at a time. Meanwhile, Tina and Maurice, the Riz Master, are discussing a business partnership over wine.
Thank you, but I didn't...
Please, Maurice. Call me Maurice.
Maurice. Yes. Thank you.
Please, if we're gonna get to third base, we need to be at least on a first name basis. Man, two-handed the wine glass. That's a power move, dude. That's like, I'm serious about this consumption.
You treated me like royalty.
Oh.
Calm down, Maurice. Not in front of my kids' invisible chicken nuggets. Meanwhile, Jeff's mother is taking her turn, letting Jeff know just how pathetic he is.
Those tickets you bought, they rerouted us. Typical of you to mess up something that simple.
Everybody hates this guy. God, his life is terrible. Jeff checks the box again, and it now magically contains a picture of his dead grandfather. It was at this moment, just when I was starting to get bored, that this happened. That's right. In the middle of this cheesy, heartwarming, wannabe Hallmark film, Jeff takes his Rudy McShooty to the desert to cancel his life subscription. I don't need to see a nativity this Christmas. I'm about to go see the real thing, baby.
Here I am. At the end of the world. Where's my Christmas, huh? Where's my Christmas love?
But don't worry, someone stops him.
Well, there's too much love in the sky.
Who is this dirty man crawling out of the bush?
Lost my job, my wife hates me.
Why did he cut to his face just like, ugh. That dude literally was just like, ugh. Bald Mystery Man offers Jeff advice that certainly wouldn't convince me not to take the escalator to heaven, but hey, it's good enough for Jeff.
You just get a little bit fouled up with your perception is a little bit off.
Everything's gonna be okay.
It's gonna be beautiful.
It's gonna be beautiful! Now at this point, I was really starting to feel the Christmas spirit.
Jesus! He's coming through the clouds!
So let's start wrapping this up. Haha, we now cut back to Tina. It just cuts to her, like, just getting... Nope. In fact, much worse. Cody sets her stepmom up with the same psychic as her dad, so Tina can figure out if she wants to stay with Jeff or get with Mariz. But Tina's issues are so bad, they have to call in another, cooler psychic with a Spirit Halloween coin scarf. How many mason jars of kombucha do you think those two women have in the refrigerator combined? They're basically like, hey, don't divorce your husband. And she's like, okay, let me ask my parents first. And they're like, hey, don't divorce your husband. And she's like, okay, fine, I'll think about it. This is when we see just how big Jeff's house is, and those are vaulted ceilings. The higher the ceiling, the higher the tax bracket. I'm supposed to feel bad for these people?
They live in that nice-ass house, and he hasn't been able to keep the same job for 7 years?
Cody has to help her dad, aka the most helpless man on the planet, make a Christmas card for Tina, because apparently he can't do it himself.
She's literally having to guide his arm like he's in kindergarten.
Meanwhile, Maurice just found out that Tina is married, but that doesn't seem to bother him too much.
Is that gonna be a problem for you?
I mean, no, not particularly. I mean, I've been in more stickier, peculiar situations.
Oh, I don't like how he said stickier.
I mean, it's customary in some cultures for both parties to spend some intimate time together before a business deal has been finalized.
Maurice? But Jeff swoops in with his Christmas card and saves his marriage.
Open it.
It's clearly photocopied. Are you gonna put it on the fridge? Please put it on the fridge. I would really like it if you put it on the fridge too.
Then at the end, Jeff gets his job back, of course, and everyone lives happily ever after. Okay, next movie. Next up is a movie called Worst Christmas Ever. The writers used swear words like commas and inserted bodily fluids in as many scenes as possible.
Oh, they just showed the vomit? Okay.
The movie is determined to convince you that the characters are super edgy, but in every wide panning shot, it's just this picturesque little snow-covered town that looks like it could be on a Christmas card. The movie starts out with our protagonist Sophia finding out she's pregnant, and then meeting up with Noah, who is painfully deep in the friend zone, to have a horribly dubbed-over conversation.
Mia Sophia, you stole my heart, and then I sharted. Sophia!
Oh my god.
That bike is too small for that young man. Only a pervert would ride a bike that small. A pervert or a clown or both.
The continuity of the shots are insanely bad. In one scene, there's like a blizzard happening on one side of the street while the other side of the street is completely clear.
This is a very localized snowstorm.
Sophia then comes home to her parents fighting, and wow, I've never seen so many white people faking a black accent in one film before.
How many times do you have to go through this, Rajon? We need to save money. What'd you think? You were Tiger Woods or something?
Why do all these white people from Ohio speak in this way?
Sophia's stepdad is unemployed, and him and her stepbrother do nothing but play this game where you're Jesus in sunglasses fighting Santa Claus.
What is this game? I need to play it.
I really liked the animated sequences of this movie that play whenever something happens that they didn't have the budget to film. The style is actually kind of fun, and we get this full 7-minute animated backstory of Sophia's dad, who had a police escort to the pearly gates while robbing a gas station after relapsing.
Eat it, Daddy.
We then get the scene of the ex-convict Santa Claus rapping over a Jingle Bells remix while robbing houses. I can't show most of this footage. Me from the past, can you tell us why?
Just to give you an image of what I'm watching right now, I'm watching a white man rap in a Santa costume while his mall elf helpers twerk on him.
Thank you, me from the past. Then we find out that the father of the baby is this confused saltine American.
Don't be clocking me, fool. The 187, blah, blah, blah.
Who goes by Trey, even though his real name is
Edward Davis III. He just calls himself Trey to sound black.
All of you are trying to sound black. That's the problem.
Noah tells Sophia that Trey is cheating on her with a girl named Maddie, and when they go to Maddie's house to confront him, he's doing... You know what? I honestly don't even know what's supposed to be happening here. Is that green construction paper? Anyways, the neighbors spectate while the two girls start beating the crap out of each other. Sophia and Noah speed off on the bike, and then Sophia tells Noah the news.
I'm pregnant.
With his? I guess I was wrong about you, Sophia. You're not as smart as I thought.
Yeah, I think Noah has been spending a little too much time on Reddit. Sophia then goes to see her grandparents, but her grandma has just been sent off to jail for beating up her grandpa and a cop.
You worthless piece of garbage!
Hey, oh, settle down.
Her grandpa goes into way too much detail about how he and her grandmother conceived a child in a church, then gave the little girl up for adoption. Thankfully for Sophia, she just got to hear about this conception. I, on the other hand, was forced to witness it.
Ah! Don't watch this with any older relatives or, you know, any friends that you wish to maintain respect of you.
The fact that Sophia has an unknown aunt just out there in the world is never brought up again, so I guess that's not important. Sophia meets with Trey to tell him about the baby, and he takes this information about as well as you would expect someone who looks like this to take it.
What?
You heard me.
That's mine? I know that for reals ain't mine.
Whose do you think it is?
I don't know.
Noah is drunk and crying at home over the state of Sophia's high.
He's this upset that she's pregnant?
Then he wanders out into the middle of the road in front of the stepdad's car. Her stepdad doesn't notice.
Jesus!
Wait a second, what?
But the worker at the drive-thru later sees Noah tangled up in the undercarriage.
Holy balls!
Then, the impossible happened. Somehow, I had accidentally chosen 2 separate Christmas movies that had climaxes involving the main character playing Russian roulette by themselves.
Oh, damn! Wait. There's no way. I found 2 different Christmas movies that has this as a plot point.
Meanwhile, the tatted Santa Claus gets stuck in Sophia's family chimney while trying to rob them, and the cops are hot on her stepdad's trail, very realistically pursuing the unarmed child instead of the culprit.
We gotta run him. Right!
Accurate aspect of the movie, an 8-year-old child starts running and the officer immediately opens fire.
When Maddie calls Trey, Sophia ensures she will be his only baby mama ever, Western style. And while she's being carted away by the cops, Santa comes down the chimney at just the wrong time. The story ends with Sophia and her entire family going to jail, and then there's about 20 minutes of credits, bonus scenes, and bloopers, one of which is just the cop absolutely cranking his The last, and by far the weirdest movie, is Christmas with Cookie. Trying to explain the plot of Christmas with Cookie is like trying to remember the events of a fever dream. It was also past my bedtime at this point, and I think the Christmas spirit may have somewhat affected my recall, but I'll give you guys the highlights.
That is the most insane logo I have ever seen.
The whole story is narrated by an alien living alone on the moon named Cookie, and I fell in love with this movie the moment this goofy-ass spaceship appeared.
They said, hey, can you put together a model ship for our movie? And the guy was like, I know how to make 3 shapes in Blender. Watch me do my magic.
Hundreds of years into the future, the North Pole has turned into a desert because of global warming, and all of humanity has died, leaving Mr. and Mrs. Claus to wander the Earth alone.
He would often sit and dream of when his Christmas town was full of snow and beauty.
They had Windows Movie Maker, and they had Blender, and they had heart and soul. That's all you need for a movie.
Except, they're not alone. Back in the present, these 2 perverts were disappointed with Santa's gifts, so they made a potion that would allow them to get revenge.
Now, according to my calculations, this will allow us the opportunity to attack Santa and seek our revenge at the least expected moment in Santa's life.
They come back in the future as skeletons. Yes, skeletons, ready to face off with the Clauses.
You know, they went on location, man. They really drove out to the desert to record this. I spoke too soon. They clearly had only one day where everyone was willing to drive out to the desert, and after that they just had to improvise.
Then I discovered something very troubling about their relationship.
You're officially on the permanent naughty list.
You melted my sister!
Wait, he just said you melted my sister. Wait, hold on. Did they, hold on. I gotta pause everything. The skeleton just said, "You melted my sister." Oh no. Oh no!
Anyways, yada yada yada, you know the drill. Mrs. Claus gets abducted by aliens or whatever.
That is no problem. I'll just need a little sample from you first.
Hello?
The obvious kind, I love it. I love how they couldn't even get her to stand still enough to do the cut. That's awesome!
Santa defeats the aliens, then he and Mrs. Claus eat poison cookies, die.
Okay, so at this point, every character that's been introduced is dead.
Are resurrected.
Oh, okay, never mind, they're resurrecting now.
Etc. You know, just very predictable stuff. Oh look, now there's an abominable snowman.
You've been wanting to eat me. Here I am.
Actually, this abominable snowman costume was at least 60% of their budget.
Santa gets eaten by the abominable snowman, and they start getting really creative with the cinematography.
Was that him in the stomach acid of the abominable snowman? They were like, get in the pool, we're gonna color grade it red, and you're gonna be inside the abominable snowman.
Enter stage right, the most talented actor to ever grace a film. This absolute treasure of a man captivated me with his performance.
I'm the abominable snowman keeper, and he was the only family I've ever known.
He is the only family that I have known! Get this man his Oscar immediately! I've never heard such uniquely delivered lines.
You now know the pain of what it feels like to have your inside ripped out.
They were so proud of the pool trick, by the way, that they found an excuse for this guy to go into Santa Claus's stomach.
They were like, this pool trick is so cool, we have to do it again. I love how he didn't even bother to like pretend to walk. They were just like, yeah, stand still, it's fine. They get the idea.
I mean, what can I say about Christmas with Cookie that hasn't been said by many a scholar before me? It's a masterclass in the art of filmmaking, and it ends like this.
Yes, sir.
I love how they're very obviously in the server room of some office somewhere. They're like, please, can we just like record in here real fast? Thank you. It just ends with Earth getting blown up. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Cookie.
It's dark outside. I spent a lot of time doing this. Look, at the end of the day, making a movie is hard, and you have to make a lot of bad art before you can make good art. Good job to all these people for putting themselves out there. That's really awesome. And to any aspiring filmmaker watching this, if their movies can get picked up by a streaming service, so can yours. Well, Santa's gonna have a ho-ho horrible hangover tomorrow, but I hope these movies gave you a little bit of Christmas cheer. Remember, as you're forced by tradition to be in close proximity to relatives who like to dissect your life decisions as they pass you the cranberry sauce, that it could be worse. You could be day drinking, alone, in costume, on a Thursday.